quorum. So what we're going to do is at 9 o'clock, if we don't hit it, we'll all just go home. But in the meantime, we're going to go through officer updates as well as a presentation for Meal Swipes for Charity, just so we can get through that, since we do have members who are here. So yeah, if you have any officer updates, please come up now.
What about the aquaponic farms presentation?
We'll be doing that too. We can't pass the legislation unless we have quorum, but you can still give your presentation.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, y'all. You too. Y'all can.
Any presentation can present.
Yeah.
How do we get quorum? Like, why?
We need more BRUSA members here.
Yeah.
Does anybody have BRUSA members? If we get somebody, if I FaceTime somebody that's not here, does their vote get to count?
FaceTime person does not count for attendance this year.
But again, you can present, and then we'll just next week do the voting of the legislation.
Very cool. Thank you.
Oh yeah, it also is elections right now, so that's probably why we have low turnout. Anyways, back to the chamber. The highlight, it's back to me.
Okay, hi everyone. So, as per usual, my This Week, Next Week updates. This week we did our self-defense event where we were giving out Verdi safety devices, and this was the supposed possible final 16th Assembly legislation meeting. If we don't hit quorum, we will have to do a meeting after State of the Assembly next week. Next week, State of the Assembly address. That's me. Get ready to hear me speak about State of the Assembly. And so for committee chairs, I have kind of my take on what your committee has done and kind of what I see as your highlights. If you have anything in particular that you would really want to make sure that I'm highlighting, reach out to me with those highlights this week. I'll be writing it most likely Saturday or Sunday. Menstrual hygiene, so y'all know that's my baby. The lunch party is going to be tomorrow at the Livingston Student Center. We'll be tabling from around 9:30 to 1:30, give or take a little bit. We'll still be giving out more Birdie safety devices because we ordered a bunch of them. We'll have free menstrual hygiene products. We're going to have a QR code with a survey to discuss free menstrual hygiene products as we continue to go through the different phases. So yeah, in terms of Big Ten on the Hill, I'll just discuss a little bit that Lara and I were really passionate about and lobbied for, which is the What's My Name bill. As you guys may remember, we had the Josephson family come and discuss rideshare safety, and so we had the opportunity to not only discuss rideshare safety with the people in the district that, with Representative Chris Smith, which is where the bill that was in the 116th Congress was introduced, and we're hoping to have them reintroduce it in the 118th. And so it was a really wonderful experience. We had a lot of different legislators really excited about this initiative, and so we were happy with the results. Also, for Accepted Students Day, unfortunately, Lara and I are not available this Saturday. And so Sean, shout out Sean, is going to be tabling for RUSA. If you can help Sean, it's 11 to 3, setup begins at 9, but really you just have to be there 11 to 3. Again, in the Livingston Student Center. It's just to kind of give people some insight into RUSA. Again, if you're going to be here next year, this is a really great opportunity. You're just going to have the usual RUSA t-shirts, pamphlets, all that sort of stuff. So please try to be there if you can and reach out to Sean because he's the contact for that.
All right, y'all, so just another reminder, the 16th Assembly is in the final stretch. Woo! So tomorrow, as Allie said, we have the menstrual hygiene launch party. Y'all should stop by because that is really putting a little bow on the end of Allie's initiatives. One of the biggest reasons why she ran is for menstrual hygiene. So please come out and free menstrual hygiene products. So please come out and show your support. And then the last two things for me that I'll be doing before I'm out is the Chancellor's Mental Health and Wellness. I'll be the Q&A mediator, so that was that email we got a few weeks ago. If you're interested, come see me on Zoom. And then the second thing is next Friday is my little wrap-up, which is the Asthma Awareness and Lung Health event. So I'm not meeting with the American Lung Association, don't worry, that's been done. I'm partnering with the American Lung Association. We're partnering with a few other student organizations, a few other external organizations, Rutgers Recreation. It's really like supposed to be a block party where we all come together to talk about lung health and asthma. We'll be screening for asthma. We'll be taking other bodily measurements to make sure you're healthy. We're going to do advocacy, legislation, so please come out if you're interested. And we will have super fun giveaways that y'all will definitely not want to miss out on.
Cool. Hi everyone. So 2 weeks ago I released this ruling on Slack, but just to quickly summarize it, I received a ruling a while back just asking about the requirements needed to run for any sort of, top 3 constitutional position. So to quickly summarize the final ruling based on the Constitution and the stand rules, you can technically run for any of the top 3 positions without having been part of RUSA for a year. It's really ill-advised. In order to actually hold the office of president, not just run for it, you have to have actually served a year, so you'd basically be instantly disqualified even if you won the election. And in order to run for treasurer, you don't have to have served for a year, you just have to have attended 6 assembly meetings. And these are both, again, clearly laid out in the Constitution and the stand goals. The second question really was like, okay, so what is a year? And what the determination was made was that it makes most sense to pin a year to the entire length of an assembly, from one spring elections to the next spring elections, and making sure to emphasize the fact that this doesn't have to be any given assembly, but that over the course of time before you assume the office, you have to have served a year in total.
Hi y'all, let me know as soon as possible if you're not getting emails or you're not in the Slack channel. I will be ending my time as secretary soon, so you won't have to hear my voice saying the same words over and over. Let me know if you have any room or tabling reservations for the rest of the year, so the future secretary does not have to worry about that and we can get that dealt with. But thanks guys.
Just get attendance recorded and come to meetings.
So yeah, just a quick review from the last couple of weeks because your spring break and everything, a lot happened over that time and in the past week. So first on student debt and the stuff we're doing there, we're doing one last student debt outreach and tabling event on April 12th. Same thing of just informing students about the recent changes to the student debt system just outside the cancellation and forgiveness program that's been making its way through the courts. So that's on April 12th. Right now, me and Chris and Erica, I believe, are planning on tabling, but if you'd like to join, let us know. Also some recent trips, so we've done a lot of trips on advocacy, policy, and meeting with different students and organizations across the country in DC. So obviously we did the student debt protest, and I just attended a meeting on the debrief of that from the Free the Degree Coalition, and there was a really great turnout in terms of getting people to sign the petitions that we were able to send to our legislators from across the country, getting a lot of eyes on it through media sources, online news, mainstream news, a whole host of different things, including international news as well. So it was a really successful event, and people from the Student Debt Crisis Center really thank us for organizing, helping get some Rutgers students down there, not only from the assembly, but also from other organizations on campus as well. So they really thank us for that. Then we had the National Pathways Institute Summit. I'm not sure if Sam's here, but shout out to her. She came back with a lot of great information regarding future initiatives that organizations around the country are doing to help transition students from the K-12 schooling system to college and then to the workforce in a way so that way we can reduce the amount of time people are paying for college and see that they are receiving well-paid jobs down the line, so that way they're not spending decades paying for student debt. And then we had the DC Student Summit. Brielle, Chris, Leanne, Sue, shout out to you guys about that. Met with Fetterman, Booker, and a couple other people I'm forgetting at the moment, but you were talking about student debt, doubling the Pell Grant, and what else? Food insecurity and mental health. So really great work there. And then finally, ABTS Russo on the Hill. Ali already mentioned it, we did What's My Name stuff, we also did stuff on gun control, specifically the federal assault weapon ban, and also doubling the Pell, and also we got a lot of great feedback on the True Cost of College Act, which is a bipartisan bill that looks to standardize the process and language of the federal aid application and once you receive the federal aid letter. Across the aisle, we received good feedback from both Republicans and Democrats on wanting to look more into the bill and potentially co-sponsoring, especially from Bonnie Watson-Coleman right there, who said they were taking immediate action to look into that and most likely sponsor it. Just granted if there's any foul play that's being played on party politics ends. And then the last thing to mention is Free the Degree transition. Obviously, since my time is coming end as LA chair, we'll have to transition to the next stage for new RUSA people to make sure that they're there in those meetings with the different university groups and higher education groups across the country. So if you're interested in getting involved in that, let me know, and then I can set you up with the heads of that organization. And then finally, with some New Brunswick and local government stuff, Good Neighbor Initiative, all the postal ops, so make sure you share them, specifically the ones about scooter usage and littering. And then we have a cleanup event on April 21st at 11 a.m., so if you can attend, we really appreciate it. And then we're just deciding on the last meeting of the semester, post-election, so that way everyone that needs to be there that's new, we can get them organized together to meet with mayor, local officials, and all that stuff. And then we had the homelessness awareness panel last Wednesday. It was a really great event where we got a bunch of student leaders. Also, thank you to Leah for helping organize that. And we were able to learn from Middlesex County social worker about how the homelessness kind of issue works and how they provide services and what's kind of the situation with that. If you're interested in learning about that information, you can go to me or Leah, and we can provide you with some documents that they gave or infographics that help explain the process. And then lastly, I'll turn it to Stu to talk about minimum wage, as we had our minimum wage tabling letter signing up event last week.
Hey guys, as Sean mentioned, last week we had a tabling event to raise awareness for minimum wage and a letter signing event as well. I basically drafted this outline of a letter that I will probably leave on the table. I'll ask and I'll just direct you guys there. So if you guys can sign it, it's basically just stating that we want to increase the student minimum wage to $15 an hour to have living wage for like people. That'd be great. The event in general was very successful. We had about over 20 plus people signing letters to their local congressmen, senators. So yeah, if you guys could also sign the letters, that would be amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright, I forgot to update my slides, so just get the logo. But this past weekend on Saturday was the tree planting event. It was very great. We planted 20 trees in 1 hour, which was very cool. And we didn't get rained out, so it was great. But yeah, it was cool. We're going to be featured in the IPO newsletter, so you all will be getting copies of that because that goes to your email. So yeah. Trees.
Hi everyone, I'm here to talk about elections. So voting ends tonight, so be sure to get everything in. I have just a couple talking points, just about some stuff to keep in mind. So firstly, for any candidates who are in the room, obviously I don't even know if we have quorum yet, but for any candidates, please make sure you read the email that I sent everyone, all the candidates last night, and I will repeat again, just please make sure you're going through the elections code, reading everything, that you understand everything. If you ever feel like anything breaks the elections code, I would always kind of suggest taking like a chill pill for like 5 minutes. Just to kind of calm yourself before you do anything or say anything, just to limit any overreaction to like the real severity of the kind of issue at hand. You can talk to some people about previous situations and when those things have happened. Of course, always be respectful to everyone. That includes other students, staff members, and that includes us, the EC, as well. So this can mean also like, please don't message or like email like me, FaZe, or any members of the EC at like 1 a.m. or like, you know, things like that. Like we're students too, we're trying to do stuff. And we're trying to get work done or sleep as well. So, you know, if you're going to submit an appeal, please think it thoroughly through before you do. Please read the code again, make sure you understand everything. And of course, appeals are not tools to win elections. Never think of them in that way. Don't submit them with that kind of intention behind submitting it. Votes win elections, and so your main objective should be getting people to vote. Because you're all trying to represent RUSA if you're running, so you should be trying to increase turnout if you're trying to represent Rutgers at any kind of point. So yeah, always just like keep working on yourself and keep trying to get everyone to vote, keep working. And yeah, that's basically it. Just keep on campaigning, and yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Cooper.
All right, with that, we will move into the presentation from Engineering Without Borders from Meal Slice for Charity. And then Agroponics, don't worry, I didn't forget about y'all this time. Y'all will be after that, so.
We got you.
And just a friendly reminder, since we did not hit quorum, it's just going to be presentations today, and then next time we hit quorum, which, would it be next week, or would it? Probably next week, we will then hopefully get quorum, and then we can vote then. Yes?
So we're presenting again tonight. We presented like a while ago with your last assembly. Is there any chance that you don't hit quorum until the next assembly, and then we have to redo the legislation and present to you guys again?
Because I know there's like a time constraint on this, we want to get it done as soon as possible. If absolutely necessary, we can use Slack to vote, which we will do. It's just if we can't get it today, of course, which we want to try to do in person, we can do it on the Slack because we know this is very important and getting it done is very important to you as well as us.
We also expect due to the next meeting, hopefully being the state of the assembly, or at least almost definitely the last meeting of the 16th assembly, there'll be an uptick in attendance.
There also won't be elections. This week, especially for those who've been running, has been a very exhausting week, especially with campaigning all day. So a lot of people did take a break from Russo this week, as well as it is the change of the season. So a lot of people are sick. I know I went through the absence form, and everyone who's not here is sick. So
we're gonna hit quorum next time. I'm just gonna say that and hope I'm not wrong about that.
Is this working? Okay, sweet. Hi everyone, my name is Coven.
And my name's Andrew.
And we are the Directors of Development for Engineers Without Borders at Rutgers. And we're here to present about our club for Meal Slice for Charity. So who are we? We are the Rutgers branch of EWB USA. EWB USA supports community-driven programs worldwide by collaborating with local partners to design, implement, sustaining engineering projects while creating transformative experiences for our members and responsible leaders.
So from here, we're going to talk about some of our projects and what we've been doing. So we have a project in Tanzania. Our objective there is to combat water inaccessibility. So to do that, we're planning to establish a water kiosk where we'll be able to distribute water jugs and also recycle rainwater. And then we have another project in Guatemala, which provides safer access to education. And to do that, we're going to rebuild a school in the community of Ilias in Guatemala with a expanded capacity that is structurally sound. The current building there, I believe, is not quite very safe, and there has been issues with that. Our third project is in Kenya. There we will also be combating water inaccessibility, and to do that, we're planning to build a new hole for drinking water. By doing that, we're going to be reducing the 3-mile trek that residents have to do just to get drinkable water. And finally, we have a project right here in Camden, New Jersey. Our objective here will be to combat the lack of affordable fresh food. As some of you might know, that Camden is actually a food desert. So in order to do that, we're planning to create a community garden where we'll install a irrigation system as well as harvest rainwater to fuel the irrigation system.
So a little bit more about the charity that we're going to be supporting, EWB USA, the national chapter. It is a nonprofit humanitarian organization that focuses on the implementation of sustainable engineering projects. That means projects that once we implement has to be able to be monitored and sustained by the community itself, while involving and training engineers and students alike, or engineering students alike. Some other things that EWB USA provides, they provide student organizations with mentors, professional engineers that go out of their way to help develop these projects. They also provide direction and resources to continue projects. For example, they have the Community Core, or CE Core, and that helps out local or domestic projects to have some footing and background. And it also provides necessary connections to facilitate progress. The EWB USA network is very expansive. We meet a lot of people. A lot of our mentors aren't even in New Jersey. For example, one of for Project Quad, our mentor is from Houston, and it's a very fun time trying to talk to him. Syncing up the time zones, but they really help us out a lot, and we want to give back. So our commitment to EWB USA.
So we have 40 plus members across all projects where we have quite close relationships with other engineering orgs, and we have tight connections with faculty and staff. And to demonstrate our commitment to kind of making EWB a success, we've done multiple fundraising events, some of which range from quite small to quite large. 3 here are our succulent sales, which were held at Bush Student Center. We also had a Cafe Ann, which was like a pop-up cafe that we did at the Livy Quads. And we also had merch tabling at the yard and also at the Bush Student Center. Finally, the largest fundraiser that we're doing is the Swing for Water golf outing. 3 of our projects are very water themed, so we're definitely trying to raise a lot of money for those projects. So to raise money for that, we've reached to a lot of inside and outside organizations, and we're also seeking sponsorships and donations. Currently, we've raised more than $5K from the sponsorships so far, so we're hoping to keep trying to push that to get more funding for so that EWB kind of becomes a success. So. Our strategy to utilize meal swipes for charity, obviously we don't want such a great opportunity to go to waste. So based on the availability of our members, we aim to table at least twice a week during the period we're allotted. We're going to do our best to leverage our engineering listservs, EWB group chats, connections with other clubs, Res Life, Rutgers faculty and staff, and we're also planning to put up flyers and ads to maximize the amount that we can kind of get out of meal swipes for charity so that it doesn't go to waste. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions at this time? Thank you for that presentation. Okay, since it's not an official meeting, we'll just move to the next presentation. Thank you so much, y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah, and the presentations will be in the Slack, so as well as the weekly email, so if anyone who wasn't here today misses it, they can see the presentation there. So now, agroponics project, please come up.
Take 2.
Exciting, part 2.
Alright, so hi everybody, we are Quorum Farms, and we are using hydroponic farming to feed and educate Rutgers University, Brunswick. So first of all, hi, my name is Ella Walmsley. I'm the president of Enactus, and I was the past project manager of Quorum Farms. I'm a junior double majoring in plant science and agriculture and food systems with a minor in data science and a certificate in agribusiness.
I'm Stephen Garcia, and I'm a junior studying mechanical engineering, and I am a current project lead for Aquaponic Farms.
Hi, I'm Natalie Radu. I'm a junior studying business analytics and IT with a plant biology minor, and I'm also project co-lead for Aquaponic Farms. So here we have the whole team. We are a team of over 15 people, as well as a lovely, very professional panel of advisors. Dr. A.J. Buff is one of the leading horticultural lighting experts in the country, if not the world, for vertical farming lighting. We also have Meredith Melendez. She is a county agent who literally approves, helps approve farms for food safety across New Jersey. And we also have Professor Gentili, who is our business, business school advisor.
So we strive to provide healthy, accessible food year-round while educating students with hydroponic growing.
So now begs the question of what is hydroponics exactly? So hydroponics is a form of growing that does not use soil. Instead of using soil as a growth medium, you have the roots hanging in usually a water-based nutrient solution. There are a lot of advantages to hydroponics, primarily the fact being that because it's grown indoor, or you can grow indoors, you can grow in small spaces because of the fact that you can grow up with it. So it's often used in vertical farming settings. With that kind of comes, yeah. So basically what that whole thing is, you can grow plants faster, you can grow them with more control. That means you can control the nutrient qualities, the taste, etc. And you can also grow them in larger amounts, or etc. Basically, you have all these things that make it more efficient, in addition to using less water than traditional agriculture. So yeah, all of this is incredibly relevant as we kind of pursue this mission in educating people through hydroponic growing, and as well as feeding them at the same time.
So our first system will actually be built this weekend at Hellier House. RGBA gave us $3,000 of the original $10,000 that we had talked about with you guys last year, and we used that to purchase our very first system. So this weekend we'll be working with Hellier House to put it up. Our second system, which hopefully the rest of the 10K will fund, is the Alexander Library. We chose the Alexander Library for its proximity to the Rutgers Food Pantry. The College Avenue Student Center currently holds a food pantry, and having a hydroponic system in the Alexander Library means that it is literally right next door. In addition, the Alexander Library was also very interested in housing a system because of a system's educational potential. Hydroponic systems, as I like to say, are not only cornucopias of food, but also learning material. Hydroponic systems have everything from plant life cycles to lighting, engineering, food safety, and supply chain management. Nearly everybody can take something away from learning about hydroponics.
So this is our proposed system for, in the Hellier House will be in a corner, so this is a corner arrangement. It basically holds 28 plants per kind of level, and there will be, well, 3 levels, 28 plants, making a total of 162 plants. It is going to be 6 feet tall, and this arrangement is about 4 feet wide. And of course, with the added nutrients and basically the use of hydroponics, you can grow plants much quicker, which means we can grow approximately 168 heads of lettuce per month, which equates to about 2,000 heads of lettuce per year. And this is just our first system. For the 10K that we're asking for, or we have previously asked for, we can build 2 systems with their own maintenance stipend within it, which means we can grow roughly about 4,000 heads of lettuce per year. And the system isn't confined just to lettuce. The system is capable of growing various other plants, most leafy greens are capable of growing within a hydroponic system, and we can kind of experiment with things such as strawberries.
So here's the cost breakdown for our system. You might be wondering,
How is that so expensive? And it has to do with the horticultural lighting. You're getting probably the best horticultural lighting in the market, which means that it will not cause any damage to your retinas, much preferable. It is also fire retardant, water resistant, and it comes recommended by one of the leading horticultural lighting experts. But yes, so our first system in Hellier has costed roughly $3,900. We would also like a maintenance stipend for $1,000. Our second system will cost another $3,900. Maintenance stipend for that will be $1,000. We'll have a small amount of overhead for extra wires, zip ties, bits and bobs, things like that. You might be wondering, what is a maintenance stipend? So we have talked with Sabo about this extensively, and we will actually be hiring a student that can run the system themselves. So they will perform basic maintenance tasks and also deliver food to the food pantry. This is really great because not only are we providing a unheard of amount of fresh produce for the food pantry. Normally they only get in a couple things at a time. We will also be able to provide jobs and train to students in the growing field of hydroponics. The $1,000 a week, the $1,000 a semester comes from the learning assistant stipend. So if you participate as a learning assistant, or at least a learning assistant in the Plant Science and Ag and Food Systems department, it's a little less, but your stipend is $1,000. So that's where that comes from. We also have the possibility of a pantry survey, and I did run this past the Rutgers Food Pantry staff, and they were really accepting and appreciative of it, so I think this is something that will be implemented. But of course we want to make sure that we're respecting food sovereignty as we move forward. So the pantry survey would allow students to actually have a say in what they want to see grown in the hydroponic system. So for example, let's say you don't want to eat straight lettuce. Not many people do, I respect that.
You can also ask to grow things for yourself like strawberries, basil, parsley, oregano, dill. We can even experiment with things like beans, although that one's probably getting really out there. But people can essentially request. Of course, it will take a month at a time for the food to actually get there, but I think this is a system implementation that a lot of people will be really happy with this.
So food safety, we have been very diligent about food safety. It's been something that we've worked very proactively on. So in that vein, we've been working with the food science department, and with that kind of came like risk management. So we have made and done a lot of research on food safety documentation, and are again working with professionals such as Meredith Melendez, who literally work in this field in the food safety in like a practical farm sense to make sure that everything is running smoothly. So in the same vein, it's the whole GAP practices, FDA approval, everything. We've done extensive research and also have made our own guidelines based on those professional guidelines. And yes, we have already consulted with Alex, who donates food from the Rutgers farm. He's the main supplier of, like, he grows his own produce and donates it. He already has a procedure set in place. It's approved by Rutgers. So we talked to him, we asked him how he does it, and we're going to do the same exact thing. And yeah, we're also really open to talking to the food pantry and just really staying on top of the whole food safety thing.
Yeah. Alex was asking from the Rutgers Gardens, does donate food, however, he can only donate June through September, and most students that use the food pantry need it September through June. So we would be supplying a very much needed market there, and unfortunately, as you guys may have heard, the Rutgers Gardens did suffer a recent bushfire, which has unfortunately impacted their crop production. So really these systems now are more important than ever.
Yeah, so frequently asked questions, who's maintaining the system. As of right now, we'll be working on it as the team, the agroroponics team, but as Ella mentioned, we hopefully want to implement this work study program in the future. Who's going to transport the produce? It'll be us. We're going to move it over. As we said earlier, we're building an Alex library. It's literally just like a 2-minute walk with a cooler. It'll be fine. And then when we drop it off, that's something we're going to coordinate with the food pantry. If you guys are familiar with the food pantry, they usually have days like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So we'll coordinate with them as to when they're getting produce from other places, and it's just optimize it based on their needs. And yeah, so there's also obviously the educational portion of this. So this is kind of a graphic we designed to put on the Alexander Library one, just kind of explaining what hydroponics is, why it's important, and to educate people about what we're doing and the whole urban food situation here. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Yeah?
Where'd you make the little say hi to our new indoor farm? It's so cute. I really, really like it.
It's on Canva.
Really?
Yes.
It's adorable.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for your presentation. Since we didn't hit quorum, that's all from us for tonight. So have a nice night, y'all.